Yep, that's a jet-powered dirt bike. It's genuinely one of the craziest machines I've ever seen, and in this video you're going to see it come to life. Warn the neighbours because this is going to get loud. So how did we get here? How did we get to the point of discovering a jet-powered dirt bike? Well, if you're a subscriber to the channel, you'll know that I absolutely love building, finding and riding the most unique dirt bikes I can get my hands on. And this bike right here might be the pinnacle of that search. This weird hobby of mine started back in 2021 when we decided to build our own custom 700cc two-stroke, which turned out pretty cool. Since then, that hobby has turned into a bit of an obsession. In the last 2 years, we've built 2 more big bore two-strokes, both powered by BRC 500 conversion kits. The first was the YZilla, which is our Yamaha YZ500. And then we did Kong, which is our fuel injected 500, and that bike started out life as a 300cc Husqvarna. But I wasn't content on just building unique and cool two-strokes. I knew out there in the big wide dirt bike world there were going to be bikes that would blow my mind. And I knew that with some help from my friends and from you guys, we might be able to track a few of them down. For us, 2023 was the year of the hunt. We spent our time searching far and wide for the most unique and interesting dirt bikes in the world. And we started off strong, finding the 1000cc two-stroke hill climb monster, and we even got to see that thing go racing. Next we found the world's most expensive dirt bike, which was the Andre Malherbe RC500. Well, it was until the Daythorpe RC500 that we found recently came along and stole that title. After that, a viewer and now a great friend of the channel offered us a ride on his Cannondale 4-stroke, which was supposed to be the worst dirt bike ever made. But it turns out it wasn't anywhere close to being that bad. That video then led us to a ride on board the outlawed Aprilia twin cylinder this summer, which really surprised us.
Oh, no way!
As summer turned into autumn, our hunt for these bikes only intensified. We bought and rode a 1971 Suzuki TM400 Cyclone, which is supposedly the most dangerous dirt bike ever produced. We tracked down the super rare Gilera twin-cylinder two-stroke, and most recently I put my bids in on an automatic Husqvarna 500. So it's safe to say that we've seen our fair share of cool and crazy bikes this year. But I don't think any of them come close to this thing on the mental scale. As always though guys, be sure to send me a message on Instagram at 1MinuteMoto if you know the whereabouts of a cool bike or a crazy project we should check out. This video has been sponsored by 24MX. For all of your dirt bike hard parts, accessories, safety gear and so much more, be sure to check out 24MX and use our discount code 999laser for 15% off across the website. As always, a big thank you goes to 24MX for supporting what we do and helping us to make these videos. So this is the SL Jet 1 jet-powered dirt bike. It's our first time seeing it today, and Scott, who's the mad inventor, the mad creator of this machine, he's going to show us how to start it. I'm a little bit nervous, a little bit scared right now. This thing is mental. We're going to see it fire up for the first time. Before things get loud, let me just tell you a little more about this machine and its creator. So on Instagram a while back, I saw a clip of this bike being started up, and I just knew that we had to try and find it for the channel. And luckily for me, it wasn't too far away from our home base. So we got in touch with the owner and he invited us to come over and check out the bike. Scott here is an absolute genius. He built this machine pretty much all by himself in his garage. He does have a background in motorsport engineering, but I think this jet stuff goes way beyond what he does in his day job for sure. I think it's also safe to say that Scott's obsessed with these jet-powered toys. The jet bike wasn't his first creation, and it certainly won't be his last. He told me about his plans for future projects, and it's safe to say they're pretty ambitious. I'll put a link to Scott's Instagram and YouTube channel in the description down below so you can follow him and his shenanigans. So this project took Scott the best part of 5 years to get right. There's obviously a whole load of trial and error and heaps of testing to be done along the way. The bike has been worked on and developed continuously and has evolved massively since the start as Scott overcame all of the obstacles that he encountered. He told me that he had help and learnt a lot from some of the best minds in the UK jet scene. This machine here started out life as a 12.5 horsepower Yamaha XT125 4-stroke trail bike, but obviously not a lot of that original machine remains. The engine is gone, of course, and in its place we've got a turbo from a big truck that Scott bought from eBay for £60. And obviously that turbo has received a lot of upgrades and updates as the project has progressed. The jet bike needs no drivetrain, it's propelled simply by the power of that menacing homemade afterburner. Scott made all of his own circuit boards and programmed the ECU himself. The bike is full of homemade tech and ingenious solutions to the problems that Scott encountered. I'm not going to pretend that I know how this bike works and how Scott was able to achieve this marvel of madcap engineering. This goes way beyond my limited mechanical knowledge. This is real NASA stuff, man, and Scott has created a machine that is truly out of this world. All I know is that it gets hot, so you definitely want to be wearing a fireproof suit before you try and ride this thing. At an early stage in the project, Scott actually recorded the temperature just underneath the seat to be 115 degrees C. So he installed a big stainless steel heat shield wrapped in gold foil to try and save your ass from being roasted. This bike certainly isn't a child's toy. It's a serious bit of kit, and it most definitely has its dangers. So, I think it's time for us to turn on the jets. Scott's going to show us the startup procedure, and I'm going to go and get my aviators ready to do my best Tom Cruise impression. So first things first, Scott said it was very important that we make sure there was no fuel left in the expansion chamber before we begin the procedure. That would be no good at all. In case you were wondering, the fuel used is a mix of petrol and diesel, 80% diesel and 20% petrol. Obviously this is a rather complex machine and there are a lot of things to remember. And a lot of things that could go wrong. Luckily for us, we had the man that made it on hand to show us the ropes. I'll send out my apologies to the neighbours now, because we're about to crank up the volume.
Okay, so we're going to turn it on now. You can see on the dash here, it's firing up. So, what we're going to do now is put it into pre-start, which basically sends the oil around the turbo, gets it going. So that's oil pressure on. And then the next thing to do is going to be, if I press this yellow button, it's going to start injecting fuel, sparking. I'm going to give it some air from this scuba tank to spool it up, and then hopefully it'll fire up. So let's give it a go. Okay, you ready?
Ready? Yep.
So it's just idling now. Can throttle it up. So she's happy deciding away. Nice and toasty. About 500 degrees it's telling me now on the tailpipe. Just coming up to 500. Let's back it off to idle. Now we're going to give the afterburner a go. So fingers crossed. Now what I want you to do is to press and if you press and hold the yellow button, afterburner should light, then you can gently throttle it up on the throttle.
That is actually terrifying. Definitely no, don't wear shorts next time. It's like a sonic boom when you first turn that afterburner on, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very loud. Yeah, bit of fun.
That's what you want to call it? Wicked. I was scared before, I'm even more terrified now. That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's loud, isn't it?
I took the earplug out, I was like, I wonder how loud that is. I was like, whoa.
It's very loud.
Wow. Yeah, that was what was just going through my mind. That was scary, and I was like 10 feet away from it. But to be actually sat in that seat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to get a warm bum.
So that is the absolutely insane jet-powered dirt bike. Now, I am ready and raring to take this thing for a ride, but in order to do that, the conditions have to be absolutely perfect. So hopefully that will happen in a future video. But let me know, do you even want to see me take it for a spin? But I think I know what your answer is gonna be. In that future video, we'll also sit down with Scott and he'll tell us the full story of how he created this beast. I hope your eardrums have recovered. And like I said earlier, if you know of any other projects that we should check out, be sure to drop me a message on Instagram at 1MinuteMoto. As always guys, my name is Max, this is 999 Laser. Until next time, I'll see you at the track.